NBA draft lottery heard round the world. The Dallas Mavericks, who had, I believe, a 1.8% chance to secure the number one overall pick in this year's NBA draft, got it after being embroiled in so much controversy when they traded away the franchise Luka to the Lakers in return for Anthony Davis and Max Christie. Kyrie Irving tears his ACL. Anthony Davis, of course, is hurt like always. The Mavericks ended up in the play-in but didn't make it into the general tournament. They could have tanked to try and get a higher percentage at the number one overall pick, but they didn't. They tried to win games at the end of the season. They got into the play-in. They lost to the Grizzlies. And no one thought that the Mavericks were going to get the number one overall pick. But lo and behold, the Mavericks, of all the teams in the league that were eligible, got the number one ping pong, presumably to draft Cooper Flag. And, this has been going crazy viral since this happened. So this says Nico Harrison's priceless reaction to Mavericks landing number one pick in NBA draft goes viral. The talk of the basketball world on Monday night was none other than Dallas Mavericks general manager Nico Harrison after the team improbably landed the number one overall pick in the NBA draft. Harrison had already made headlines earlier in the season for an unexpected and highly controversial decision, trading franchise superstar Luka Doncic to the Los Angeles Lakers before the trade deadline. In return, the Mavericks received Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and draft compensation. The move was met with widespread backlash, with many Mavericks fans even chanting for Harrison's firing during home games. But on lottery night, Harrison may have earned a second life. With Dallas now in position to draft the consensus number one prospect, Duke's Cooper Flag, viewed by many as a potential franchise-altering player, everything suddenly looks brighter. A video of the Mavericks front office reacting to the news quickly went viral, with Harrison front and center, jumping from his seat in pure excitement as the room erupted in celebration. So here is said celebration. Get out of here. Okay. Here is said celebration.
The second pick will be made by
Look at Michael Finley.
The hell they doing?
Hey man, I don't know who put that phone there to record that, but move it around. Like move it around. Y'all just let it sit there. Hey man, shouts out to Michael Finley. He was always one of my favorite players growing
Absolutely.
up. Harrison can be seen seated at the front, immediately jumping up and cheering after the Mavericks landed the number one pick. The video quickly went viral, surpassing 230,000 views within minutes and spreading across several social media platforms. Just so we're clear, it's still fire Nico, a fan said. Nico realizing he's no longer the most hated man, another fan posted. Someone else added, Nico doesn't deserve this moment. One more fan commented, I guess there is a 1.8% chance that he gets traded, and for some reason, 1.8% seems like really good odds these days.
Hysterical.
While many Mavericks fans clearly still haven't fully moved past the controversial trade that sent Luka to LA, Harrison now has a prime opportunity to build a roster capable of competing for a championship, something Dallas was contending for not too long ago. If the Mavericks select Cooper Flag, which seems highly likely, they'll be adding a potential franchise cornerstone to a core that already includes Anthony Davis, Klay Thompson, and Kyrie Irving, who is currently rehabbing an ACL injury. Additionally, the team has promising young pieces like Christie, Jaden Hardy, and Derek Lively, giving them both star power and depth leading into the future. So, yeah, man, Mavericks got the number one pick, bro. 1.8% chance. Draft lottery drew their ping pong ball over all those other teams who had exponentially more odds. So, what are your thoughts on that?
Funny you ask, bro. First thing that popped in my brain was, "Are you not entertained?" That was the first thing that popped in my brain. I was like, "Yeah, are you not entertained here?" This is WWE, man. This is WWE, man. You don't get no more blatant slap in the face than this. I'm sorry, bro. But if there's still people out there that doesn't, you have the authority to do whatever you want if you're the NBA. Yeah, there's these things going on, but we created the rules. We control the board. Why would we not move certain pieces around so we always win? And it's just gotten to the point at this point where everybody's watching. They don't care. Let's just move these pieces around. You guys are going to like the story anyway once it comes out. And of course, this is nothing but narrative. And so I think the league got tired of taking losses, and because they've done this historically now. Because we just covered when LeBron was on the Pat McAfee thing, and he was like, "Oh yeah, so when Cleveland got the number 1 pick, I already knew what time it was." You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, when Derrick Rose went to Chicago, all right, when Patrick Ewing went to New York, you say, he understood the assignment. It's like, yeah, that's what the NBA does. But I think nowadays people aren't just going to sit around and watch this stuff. People are a little bit more observant of the NBA's patterns. And no, it didn't make sense to trade Luka to LA. It just doesn't. It didn't make sense then, but it makes a lot of sense today. And it very much looks like that there was some shadow behind the, collusionary deal where it was like, hey, we need LA to continue to be a market. Put Luka over there. Trade Luka. Are you mad? And it's like, hey, man, you do that, you get number 1 pick. All right. So then you get another guy that's just going to be, supposed to be one of them ones. So to me, this looks like NBA collusion. Now, I've called this stuff out before, but I felt as though I was still, not by you, maybe now, I don't know, still viewed as a skeptic. Still viewed as some crackpot that has a little too much fun with tinfoils. But no, I really feel rectified. I feel more redeemed than Nico Harris himself after that, because I said, you know what? I didn't see this coming, but yes, this whole situation proves my point. I haven't seen one person on the internet since this thing came out I've seen people that are being neutral, but they're neutral. This don't make sense. It's a little fishy. It's a little coincidental. And yeah, my whole thing is the league always moves in these coincidental, fishy fashions. But I think this one was such a slap in the face that a lot of people saw and heard it. But what are your thoughts, man, on the Dallas Mavericks with that 1.8% chance to get the number 1 pick and actually land it? What are your thoughts, bro?
Yeah, it does. It's very, very coincidental for sure.
That's a good word.
It's very coincidental for sure. But look, here's what I'll say, and you might disagree with this, and that's fine. Even if it is, like, I am not saying that I believe it was fixed, rigged, collusion, whatever. But even if it is, who cares? The way that I see it, I'd rather the draft be rigged so that Cooper Flag get drafted to a well-run organization that has a good pedigree so that he can be a player that is showcased and featured, and his potential has a greater chance for being maximized than for him to be drafted to the Charlotte Hornets, where he will basically be squandered away in NBA obscurity by an organization that doesn't know what the hell it's doing, a front office that doesn't know what the hell it's doing, a franchise that does not know how to do business well. have him playing alongside LaMelo Ball, who is perhaps the most unserious basketball player in all of the NBA. I don't want to see Cooper Flag go there. And the Charlotte Hornets had a higher percentage chance to get the ping pong ball. What good does it do any of us as basketball fans to see Cooper Flag go play in Charlotte?
Correct.
Again, and so what do you want? Now, I'm not, when I say you, I don't mean you personally. I'm just saying in general to the people who complain about this. What do y'all want? Like, you want Cooper Flag to get drafted by the Washington Wizards so that he can never contend, never go to the playoffs, never be taken seriously as a player, never be an all-star, never be all-team NBA. He will never compete for any of those distinctions because he plays for a loser franchise that is run rife with incompetence. The Washington Wizards have not been a viable franchise in my lifetime. I'm almost 40 years old. I've never seen the Wizards be good. Ever. And that is because that organization is incompetent. So you can holler collusion, fix, rigged, whatever. That's fine. I want to see incompetent people who run competent. I want to see people and companies, franchises, organizations that are competently run, that are well run, continue to succeed because they deserve it. Because they put the effort and the resources and the money into being well run organizations that know how to draft well. Their farming system is good. Their G leaguing is good. They pay coaches. They will max out guys if they need to. And they will try to put good rosters together so that they can actually put a product on TV that I don't mind watching. As opposed to it being the Washington Wizards, which is an absolute eyesore of a watch on any I don't give a damn what you're watching on. I can't watch a Wizards game. So what do you want? You want Cooper Flag to go to the Wizards so that he can play next to perhaps the second most unserious basketball player in the league, Jordan Poole? I'm not trying to watch Cooper Flag play with Jordan Poole.
Come on, man.
I don't give a damn. What do you want? You want him to get drafted by the Portland Trailblazers so that he can be up there in the Pacific Northwest playing for nothing all the time? And here's what's going to happen. He's going to become an unrestricted free agent because his rookie deal is going to expire. And because he wants to win and be more viable, he's going to demand a trade. And everybody's going to kill him for demanding a trade. That's all that's going to happen to him. Because the organization isn't just going to let him leave via free agency. They're going to say, oh, this guy wants to leave. Let's get something back. So he is going to hold the organization hostage by demanding a trade to a better team. And then he's going to get roasted by people on social media and the internet and the media for cantankerously demanding a trade.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead and fix the ping pong balls so that he can be drafted by an organization that actually puts forth the effort and knows what it's doing. Because you can say what you want about Nico and trading Luka. You can say that was collusion, whatever. That's fine. What I do know is the Mavericks as an organization have a history of being competitive. They were in the finals in 2006. They were in the finals in 2011, and they were in the finals last year. And then even when they weren't in the finals, they were still winning a lot of games in the regular season and competing for high playoff seedings going back when they had Nash and Dirk. And then when it was the Dirk era with Sean Marion, and they were competing. So the Mavericks have a history of being a well-run organization. Whether it was fixed or not, I will take great players getting drafted into that situation as opposed to them getting drafted into a horrible situation where they're just basically going to drift off and be nothing. I don't want Cooper Flag to get drafted by Brooklyn.
Yeah.
The Wizards, the Hornets. I don't want Cooper Flag to get drafted by the Hawks. To do what? Lose all the time and not do anything meaningful? I don't care. I don't want to see that. So if if the rigging and the collusion means that good players get drafted into good situations, fine, I'll take it. I don't give a damn.
And that's what the league said. and so they said to hell with the rules that we set down. The bottom line is we're back. We're behind. And we need to put these people in position so they can, help with ratings. Because like you said, if you play for the Hornets, is it even going to be on TV? If they are on TV because it's Cooper Flag, it's a bad product because nobody want to watch the Hornets play. So the NBA loses when all of these high value people go to these trash markets. And it's not so much the fans, it's how the organization is, like you said, is being run.
Exactly. I don't like. That's why I was very careful to not bring it. I was very careful to not even talk about market because I don't care about that. Like fans don't care about that. Like the media keeps bringing that up, and it's very aggravating when they do this. Like no one wants to see Indiana play Minnesota in the finals. Says who? I would watch that. Like if it's good basketball, I don't care that it's the Pacers versus the Timberwolves. Like these gas bags in the media make too much of markets. I don't care whether it's the Knicks or the Pacers. If it's a fun, exciting team that's fun to watch, I don't care what the team is. That's why I didn't bring up market because I don't care about where it's located. I really don't care. But certain organizations historically are poorly run. It just is what it is. And so I'm not trying to watch that. I don't care what the market is. The Wizards don't know what they're doing. Like they really should just fold up. Like why even bother having a team? The Wizards, the Hornets, even the Hawks, like perpetually either mid or bad. Like I don't want to see good players get put into that situation no more than I want to see a really good, like the NFL. Like I hate to see quarterbacks who have all of the like potential get drafted by bad organizations that are just going to squander it. Like what good does that do? Like I hope it works out for Caleb. But I don't know how good Caleb is going to be in his career because he plays for the Bears. So who knows how good he's going to be? I have no idea because throughout my lifetime, the Bears have been bad. So that's my thing. I just want people who are good to go to places that know what they're doing. And I don't think market has anything to do with that because DC is a big market and they have been bad, trash my whole life.
Yeah. Yeah, but I agree with that. And the reason why those gas bags talk about market because that's what matters to the NBA. And if there was a team that wins as good, like OKC, air quote, no one cares. And no matter how many people attend those games and stuff like that, there's only so much purchasing power, air quote, in that area, and thus worldwide. But if you have a global brand like the Lakers, if you have a global brand like what do you say? And that's why I feel like the Knicks. I was like, man, that's a global brand. Why don't I do more for them? But a global brand like the Celtics, you can mess around with that and allow those teams that always win whatever. Now, granted, the Spurs proves competence, the Mavericks prove competence, and the Heat, honestly, as crazy as we are sometimes, we've proved competence. So the NBA doesn't mind colluding for these teams. So I used to play NBA 2K14 a lot. The dynasty mode and stuff. And I played it years after because I just refused to buy another game. So if it's about roster updates, I'll just update it myself. Yeah. So I played 14 a lot. And one thing that you could do in there is rearrange draft pick orders. At least I think you could. Yeah, you could. You could rearrange draft pick orders. Man, once I figured that out, I was putting certain teams number one that I wanted to have the number one pick. I started, yeah. And when you're the commissioner of the league, you can do that. I think what people are getting so bent out of shape about it and getting so fussy about it, and the reason why I think it's important is you're not dealing with legitimate stuff. You're dealing with a league that does stuff that benefits the league. And so, yeah, they told you that this is about ping pong balls, but it's not. And they told you that, and my thing, it don't stop with the draft lottery. They do this whole narrative thing, and now I see that they do it through trades. They don't care. They need a narrative to push. and they need to be able to sell tickets and keep people watching these dumbass games so they can keep showing us Wingstop commercials. So, nah, man, they're going to do whatever it takes. And this proved it to me. This whole Luka over there, Mavericks #1, to me, this proves what I already knew. But this is my exhibit A of, come on now, explain this. All the other stuff might have been coincidental, but come on with this. And my thing is, they're not going to stop. So when the referees got the seem to swallow their whistle in certain situations or overblow it for other ones, the NBA has agendas because they're selling a product to you. They're selling you entertainment. And so long as those guys go out there and do what they do, that's fine. But we're going to control as much of this as possible. Because when I was playing video games like that, and I can control things. Hell, with NCAA college football, I can force what team wins. That's not even my game. I was like, I don't want Notre Dame to win. So I'm gonna force them to lose. And when you got it like that, you say you lose. So I get it, but just know that this isn't an all fair thing, and this is for all sports leagues, in my opinion. They have their ways of manipulating it so it can pan out in their favor. And I think that this was just such an obvious situation, at least for me, to go there. Well, see, there you go. This is what the NBA does. This is what other leagues do, but the NBA just seems to be more sloppy. But hey, man, shout out to Nico Harris, man. He's been resurrected, man. He was in a tomb for 3 days, and now he is risen because now he's got the new basketball Jesus, Cooper Flag, man. So shout out to Nico, man.
Yeah, I mean that all of that is all well and good. I just know that there's a very realistic possibility this year that we can have a Pacers Minnesota Timberwolves NBA Finals, and I'm struggling to find the agenda in that. So that's my only thing. That's why I'm reluctant to go so far as to fully believe that this is some sort of an orchestrated fix with these sports leagues because sometimes good business gets rewarded for doing business well. And by that, I mean good players going to good teams and then those teams continuously contending year over. I don't think that's a coincidence. I think it's because those organizations are just more well run than others. It is highly coincidental that the Mavericks did get the ping pong ball, though. So that part I can understand why people are rolling their eyes. But at the end of the day, if we end up watching Pacers Timberwolves in the NBA Finals this year, I'm sorry.
It pays off for Anthony Edwards.
That's okay, but it dispels.
No, it doesn't, because Anthony Edwards is the new thing.
That's yeah, but I can point to so many other examples throughout the history of the league of great players that the league wanted to prop up that couldn't get over that hump for various other environmental reasons. So what I'm saying is you can't isolate this instance as a case study for how that's something that always happens, because I can point out franchise players that played for organizations that aren't the Lakers, the Knicks, the Warriors, whatever, throughout history that weren't going to the finals, let alone playing against the Pacers. I mean, the damn Detroit Pistons, which were an eyesore, as well as the San Antonio Spurs, which were also an eyesore, stayed going to the conference finals and the finals every year for like a decade. It was the most annoying thing in the world. So I hear you, bro. Where there's smoke, there very well may be fire. My only point is, for every example of this is where the league has its agenda, I can point to one other example where I can say this is an example of how the league may not have an agenda. I just kind of feel like at the end of the day, I don't care. Is my overall thing is with this, I don't care. I'm not betting on this. I don't make money off of it. Unless it's the Miami Heat, I do not have an emotional investment in any of this. Ever since Kobe retired, I haven't rooted for any individual player. I just root for the Miami Heat as an organization. And the Miami Heat as an organization is a well-run one. So even when we experience down years, we eventually bounce back despite all of the NBA doohickey that's going on. And above all else, I just don't want to see good players. I don't want to see bad organizations be rewarded for being bad. I don't like seeing bad businesses being rewarded for being run poorly. So I don't want to see the Charlotte Hornets get rewarded for being a horribly run organization by getting the number one overall pick. Same with the Wizards, same with the Nets, same with the Hawks. I don't want to see that. I just don't want to see it. Like, you shouldn't get rewarded for being bad on purpose. And even if you're not bad on purpose, you shouldn't be rewarded for not doing well by your fan base by trying to be competitive and putting a good team together. So when you're a poorly run organization, you don't want to pay for scouts, you don't want to pay for coaches, you don't want to pay for a good GM. You want to be a penny pinching owner that doesn't really care about winning games. You just want to care about your profit margins and your tickets and concession revenue. Then you deserve to be bad all the time. And I don't want to see good players get drafted into those horrible situations. So that's just my 2 cents on that. Rigged or otherwise, I don't care. I just don't want to see good people go into bad situations.
And my thing is, my thing is, they don't control every single outcome. There's still some randomness that goes to this. You can send the referees out there to do what the Lakers did to the Kings, and whatever game 6 that was. All right, you can send the refs out on a mission to try to curve outcomes, but the ball still bounces. All right, and so my thing is that the league does have agendas. And you can say, "Oh, what's the agenda with the Pacers and the Timberwolves?" Listen, it's not going to be. And some of those finals where some of those teams won, you'll look down the thing and you'll say Spurs this or whatever that. Some people don't even know who they played, because it's not about who they played; it's about who won. And my thing is with the league, it matters to me, because I was invested in a sport emotionally that is what they want. Even with the Heat in 2006, we cheated. We cheated against the Mavericks. We didn't deserve to win that. Wade went crazy, but they cheated for us. They gave Wade all the calls. Go look at the shooting, the discrepancies. The NBA colluded for us to get LeBron, Bosh, and Wade. They did that. The NBA did that. And so my thing is, and even with that team, even though they would love for us to win, not 4, not 5, not 6, even though the NBA would want us to do that, we still only won 2 out of 4. Because when you're playing in certain these situations, which the Mavericks understood, is that you got to beat the Heat and the referees. And some teams, when they got and they was playing the Lakers, they forgot that you got to play the Lakers and the referees. So when you sitting there, you hollering, you throwing your hands up, you lost the game. And so certain teams fell right underneath that. OKC didn't know. They were too young. They didn't know what the hell was going on when we were cheating.
So let me ask you this. So do you believe that you believe that this is new? Like, you think the NBA just got like this?
No, they did it with Patrick Ewing. They fixed that so he can go over there.
Then what is the hugabaloo about then, if it's always been this way? Well, what?
I don't have hugabaloo. My thing is that when you're watching the WWE, don't sit there and think that, Mankind did get a slash on his face. Okay, he was actually bleeding. Okay, so there is elements of real to it, but it is still theater. And just like how we know they give MVPs to people, they give certain things to other people, and whoop-de-whoop and whoop, certain accolades to certain people. It's a narrative. It's a game. It's Barbie dolls for men. So my whole thing is when I'm sitting there and I'm watching it, I go, there's an element of me that enjoys the WWE of it, but at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and go, those guys actually fought hard or did whatever. It's like, nah, man, because at the end of the day, I'm still dealing with theater. So no, I don't get emotionally invested on any part of it anymore. And my thing is that the NBA, if this should show you that the NBA will sit around and meddle around with certain things that they say has integrity, they'll meddle around with other things. You think it stops here? So that's my point. And so, yes, they can send Cooper Flag to the Mavericks. That doesn't mean he's going to be good there. That doesn't mean he's not going to get a knee injury. That's not means he's not going to turn into Kristaps Porzingis.
I can guarantee you he'll be better there than if he was in Washington.
My thing is that Kristaps Porzingis still end up getting hurt. And so you can't control his knee blowing out.
Well, yeah, you can't control that.
So you can control certain things, you know, the environment, but you can't control the absolute scenario.
That's always been the case, though. That is just the variables inherent in these sports that have always been around for hundreds of for like 100 years. Like that has never not been the case. Like never in any point has that not been the case. So it just, you know what I'm saying? I just don't, when I'm watching the games and I'm seeing the teams, I'm watching the games and I'm watching the players trying to win the game. All of that other stuff is whatever. Like I feel you on all of that, but where I remove myself from it is I sit there, I watch the games, and I say the teams are trying to play the games. Now, the circumstances that persisted to put those teams in position to play in those games, I don't know. I guess psychologically, I kind of block that out of my head. When I'm watching this, I'm saying those guys are trying to win the game. And at this point, as a grown adult who's not making money off this, I can't ask for much more than that. That's pretty much how I see it. And I just kind of feel like this is what has always been with this. It's always been weird stuff going on with these leagues all the time, like forever. That has never not been the case. All of that stuff that you just said.
Some people don't think that at all. And my point is, this should show you that this is evidence of that. That's my whole point. So whether it is or whether it's not, I still gamble on it. So my point is that, you know, I don't care. But if there is people out there that actually, because there's some people that's really burning jerseys, you know, not over this, but yeah, they'll get crazy with it. So my thing is that understand that this is a product. This is a product they're selling, no more, no less. It's Tyler Perry with a basketball, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is what it is, bro. I mean, you know, even if we're not talking professional sports, I feel like bro, you can go to, like, I have a cousin who did professional bodybuilding competition. There's weird stuff that happened in that. And that was like local bodybuilding competition up in Maryland.
Exactly.
And there was some, I don't want to use the word corruption, but
it was.
there was red tape. What really is competitive balance at the end of the day is my question. Like,
not when you're dealing with gambling.
Okay, but you have to, like, I think people, you just kind of have to reassess what it even means. Like, what does competitive balance even mean? Like,
and this is my point, bro. You're dealing with mechanisms created by people meant to distract me. So my whole point is, no, none of these professional things have integrity. That guy shouldn't be wasting his time building body weight and not doing combat. He should be doing something that actually matters instead of lifting weights. He's wasting his time with something that is already fixed. So don't waste, my message is, don't waste your emotional energy on a league that is fake if you think it's real.
Okay.
That's my point.
All right. Well, we agree to disagree. I don't think it's fake.
I'm sorry to hear
I don't think it's fake.
The Heat, all them Heat championships, we didn't deserve them because we cheated to get it.
All right. That's fine. So long as I feel like I'm watching competitive games on the court, I'll take that. Cheating or otherwise. Like I said before, even if you want to holler about stuff being fixed for agendas, I'm okay with that if it means bad people not being rewarded for doing things badly. So I don't care. Give me all of that.
They needed to change that model. They need to fix tanking, and I think this is also a message towards tankers. So yeah, man, I agree with it. Yeah. I told you I did it in the game, but I control the game.
Yeah.
Who wins is who I win. And then when I hit simulate in the last one, because I'm feeling frisky this time, I don't want the same team to win. And the other team win, I go, oh man, what a spice up in the narrative.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do a follow-up on this because a lot of what you said I don't like. But that's a video for another day. We'll go ahead and move on.